Welcome to the Explainer. When we picture high intelligence, we usually think of the person totally dominating the boardroom, rapidly firing off answers, or effortlessly acing every single test. But the science of psychology tells a very different, much quieter story. Today, we're diving straight into a fascinating breakdown of how a truly rare mind operates behind closed doors. Specifically, we're going to look at 7 distinct things you only ever do alone if your intelligence is incredibly rare.
Just 2%. That's it. Psychology suggests that less than 2% of people will ever experience the world the way this specific, highly functioning brain actually works. We aren't talking about standard IQ tests here, or how fast you can solve a complex math equation. No, we're talking about deep, structural wiring. It's a profound cognitive sophistication, a fundamental difference in how information is physically routed and processed in your brain that the vast majority of the population simply doesn't share.
Okay, let's hit Section 1, the illusion of public intelligence, dispelling the myths of the loud genius.
Society is constantly telling us that intelligence is loud, right? We picture someone holding court at a dinner party, waving their hands around, or aggressively shouting down opponents in a debate just to prove they're the smartest person in the room. It's all about perfect grades and shiny trophies. But true cognitive sophistication isn't about public validation at all. It hides, it whispers, it works the night shift inside your own head when nobody is clapping, nobody is grading you, and nobody is even watching. Real intelligence, the kind that actually reshapes paradigms, almost never performs for an audience simply because it doesn't need to.
Moving right along to Section 2, rethinking your own beliefs, the private battleground of ideas.
So trait number 1 is this incredible, silent behavior known as epistemic patience. Think about how our modern world operates for a second. You're scrolling through social media, a breaking news story drops, and instantly there is this massive pressure to immediately take a stance and post an opinion. Well, epistemic patience is the rare cognitive ability to withstand that uncertainty. It's the quiet comfort of being able to say, you know what, I don't know enough yet. Instead of jumping to a hasty conclusion, a rare brain quietly gathers information, turning the issue over and over, intentionally delaying judgment until the picture is actually clear.
And that leads us straight into trait number 2. The deeply profound habit of active self-opposition. When you are entirely alone, do you ever play a rigorous mental game of chess against your own worldview? Because rare minds do this constantly. They will literally act as their own worst critic, stress-testing their most deeply held convictions to see if they actually hold up to logic. They strip away their own ego and a relentless pursuit of the actual truth, even if the outcome of that internal debate proves them completely wrong.
Which brings us to Section 3. Analyzing emotions and past processing your internal landscape. Trait number 3 is all about how this private intellect handles feelings. Highly intelligent people actually study their own emotions like raw data, rather than just blindly reacting to them. When a rare mind feels a sudden spike of anger or a deep wave of sadness, they don't just let themselves get swept away by the current. Step 1, they observe the feeling entirely objectively. Step 2, they pull their ego completely out of the reaction. And Step 3, they isolate the root cause. It's exactly like being the lead scientist and the test subject at the exact same time, all in the total privacy of your own mind. Building on that internal analysis, trait number 4 is the hidden power of reframing, literally rewriting the actual meaning of your past experiences. You see, highly intelligent people don't view their past as a fixed, unchangeable, tragic narrative. When they're alone, they actively process past failures or traumas and extract brand new utility from them. Think of a failed business venture or a terrible breakup. Instead of letting it remain an emotional anchor, a rare mind analyzes it to create a precise map of what not to do next. They systematically turn a painful memory into an actionable tool for future navigation. It's a real game changer.
Next up is Section 4, agility and useless curiosity, the fingerprint of genuine intelligence.
Trait number 5, indulging in what looks to the outside world like completely useless curiosity. You absolutely know the feeling. It's 2 a.m. and you're reading a dense article about ancient shipbuilding techniques or the migratory patterns of a specific moth. To most people, this is a total waste of time. But psychologists have found something really surprising here. This insatiable need to connect random dots is actually the true fingerprint of genuine intelligence. It reminds me of the legendary physicist Richard Feynman, who is famous for spending hours studying the paths of ants or figuring out the physics of a spinning dinner plate, literally just for fun.
And because of all that gathered, eclectic knowledge, we arrive at trait number 6, real-time intellectual agility. A rare mind engages in a private mental gymnastics routine that most people simply never fully develop. First, They can absorb conflicting, brand new information instantly, without their pride getting in the way or getting defensive. Then, they pivot their internal frameworks on the fly. If the facts change, their mind simply updates its software in real time, completely alone, without missing a single beat.
Let's dive into Section 5, the rarest mind revealed, the ultimate indicator of high intelligence.
Before we unveil that final trait, take a quick moment and ask yourself, do you recognize yourself in these private habits so far? Honestly, even if just 3 of these signs describe you, whether it's the epistemic patience, the active self-opposition, or studying your emotions like data, your brain is wired in a way the vast majority of the human population will never, ever experience. You are operating on a completely different frequency behind closed doors.
All right, finally, we arrive at number 7. This is the ultimate hidden sign that you possess one of the rarest minds on Earth. It's the culmination of everything we've talked about, the profound realization of your own sovereign independence. Trait 7 is the conscious, private rejection of societal noise in favor of absolute self-authorship. It is the quiet, unshakable understanding that your mind is a fortress. While the outside world is swept up in fleeting trends, viral outrage, and massive groupthink, your internal world remains completely immune. Grasping this reality will completely rewire how you see yourself.
Bringing us to our final part, Section 6, a quieter, deeper intelligence, moving beyond just being smart.
It really all boils down to this: having the kind of mind that thinks for itself in a world completely addicted to noise. This beautifully encapsulates the core message of our source material today. This isn't just about being smarter in a traditional test-taking sense. It's about being rarer, quieter, deeper. It's about possessing an internal world so incredibly rich and rigorous that you absolutely do not need the external world to validate your intellect. So, as you reflect on your own hidden intellect, I'll leave you with this question. Which of these silent psychological signs hit you the hardest? Was it number 1, the power of epistemic patience? Number 4, the ability to completely rewrite your past? Or number 7, the ultimate independence of thought in a noisy world? Think on that. Keep nurturing that exceptionally rare mind of yours, and thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.